music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who just rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the podcast where we put Tim Burton's 1992 Batman sequel up on a pedestal before laying it down on a slab. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And I am your other host, John Parker, clearly the host that you put on a much higher pedestal than anyone else.
Always having to one-up me, isn't that right, John? Always having to go that extra little bit.
Of course.
But today we're joined by a returning guest from season 1 and one of the people, a person most people associate as like the Godfather, if you will, of the Movies by Minute world, from Star Wars Minute and the Godfather Minute, Alex Robinson.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me on the program.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I've just been getting into Godfather Minute, actually. Of course, I love Star Wars Minute, but Niall's he kind of forced me to listen to Godfather, and now I'm obsessed.
Made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
Exactly.
He did indeed, because I'm not a huge fan of the movie.
Uh-huh.
I think the podcast is better than the movie.
Oh, wow. Well, that's kind words indeed.
I think it's actually, like, at the minute, it's become my favorite of the ones currently airing. So.
Oh, you're embarrassing me. Stop it.
But yeah. Today we're talking about minute 106 of Batman Returns. It begins with the Penguin delivering that dialogue that I just quoted. And it ends a minute later with a bunch of penguins scrambling into Gotham Square. So
Niall, you spoilt the start of this minute. That's terrible. That's not the etiquette.
Crazy, John. I'm a cowboy. I got too much to prove. That's a Goodfellas quote. Oh, getting the wrong movies in there.
Now, shockingly, a movie I have not seen.
Oh, well, you should get on that. Although, in talking about that, though, Alex, I know when we invited you on, you had said that you had seen the start of this movie, but you had never seen the entire thing. So, have you watched it in its entirety now, or?
I have not watched it in its entirety. I still do not. I can't remember which parts I've seen and which parts I haven't seen, because I feel like it's one of those movies that I would like when it was on cable. I would watch it for a little while, and then so I've probably seen the whole thing, just never tip to tail in one sitting. So
This must seem like a really strange minute then, with this penguin army descending on the city.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's very strange. If Batman wasn't in this, I would never think this was a Batman movie I was watching.
That goes for 90% of the minutes, to be honest.
That's probably true.
He's barely in the film.
He returns, though.
Yeah, that is the main criticism people have of this one, isn't it? Just not really a lot of Batman, barely a Batman film, but it's great. It's Tim Burton at his best.
Is that true? Do you think it's Tim Burton's best movie?
Oh, I don't know about. Ooh, that's a tough question. It's one of my favorites. I don't know if I can pick a favorite. I love this. I love Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands. If we're going a bit later, I really like Sweeney Todd. I know Niall's not too keen on it.
But do you have a favorite Tim Burton, Alex, or you?
Ed Wood. Ed Wood is definitely my favorite Tim Burton movie.
How did I miss Ed Wood out? Jesus.
It doesn't feel like a Tim Burton movie. That's probably why.
I think that's what it is. For about 5 years, back when people actually had text message tones on their phone and didn't just keep it muted all the time, I ripped from the DVD of Ed Wood the audio of him going, "Pulls the string." So every time I got a text, that would play, and it got old very quickly, I'll be honest.
You're very popular, so.
I think that's like with any text tone. Like in the opening day, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be great," and then like a weekend, you're like, "Oh my god, why the hell did I think this is a good idea?"
Well, I've set my my Amazon Echo to wake me up to the theme song from Russian Doll. Which, if people haven't seen, it's the Netflix show with Natasha Lyonne. It's a bit like Groundhog Day, and every time she starts the day, she hears this specific song, and I've set that as my alarm.
Yeah, it's a jaunty song as well. I can understand it waking you up.
Yeah, but after about a week, it's like, I don't want to ever hear this song again.
That's why I never wanted to get a tattoo. I feel like it's the same thing would happen with a tattoo. I'd be like, ugh, I really liked, Alf back in the day, but...
I want to now Google Alf tattoos. Screw this podcast. That's what we're going to do with this time.
I just remember, though, someone in the room next to me when I was in university, in the halls, someone had set like the that Oasis song, "The Importance of Being Idle." They put that as their alarm clock, but like only one line of it they'll repeat over and over again. And then one day they went out, and the alarm clock got going off, and the walls were paper thin. So I just kept hearing the same thing over and over.
So just one line over and over again?
Yeah, and there's nothing I could do about it. I was just like, I'm literally powerless. I didn't know the guy either. I couldn't text him to do something about it. So I just had to kind of wait it out. And I was like, I guess I'm going to have to just leave. Just leave the room just to get away from this. Yeah.
You relocated.
You never went back. Yeah. No, I would have took inspiration from Vivian from The Young Ones. I'd have just smashed through the wall to get to it.
Especially with paper thin and all.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, but I was a student. I was looking for that safety deposit back, which I don't think I got in the end. Anyway.
No, they always screw you out of that deposit. But Batman.
Yes. So we do have the Penguin here turned into Max Schreck, who's, I have to say, he's very stationary. He's just been, like, if you told me that was just like a mannequin of Chris Walken that they've just propped up there. He's been standing in that same position for like the whole time.
It's a cardboard cutout they've just stuck in the cage.
It just seems like, why is like the stand? Why is he, do not sit down in the cage or just like, unless he's really keen to see what's going on. But
if you want some motion in your Walken, you need to pay extra.
But and of course the Penguin says like, oh, they wouldn't put me on a pedestal, so I'm laying them on a slab.
That's a good line.
Yeah. We'll note as well though, and I didn't actually notice it ever until I watched this with headphones on, and you can hear under like all the cacophony of like the various music and him talking. There's a very like world's smallest violin, like very very sad rendition of the Penguin theme playing. As he says that line.
Oh, I didn't notice. I didn't have my headphones on.
Yeah. It's literally it's like only like a day ago. I was like, holy crap! I didn't realize that was there. But I guess that kind of works because it's hinting at the underlying tragedy of the whole story. Like, all he wanted was to be put up and for people to accept him and like him.
Right. You say this. This is my problem / the thing I love. Can I just say? Right, he says, oh, they wouldn't put me on a pedestal, like he's angry that they wouldn't accept him. But all along, his plan was to con everybody. Like, there was never a point where he flipped into being evil. He was planning to, like, kill these children all along.
Unless you want to take it, like, way back to be like, who's the they he's talking about? He could be talking about, like, the they... His parents,
yeah. Okay.
They didn't put him on a pedestal, so now he's laying everybody else on a slab.
Okay, I think in the context, it's not the parents. Come on.
Yeah.
He just genuinely, he thinks he should be put on a pedestal and he should be free to kill these children. That's fine. In fact, Alex, do you know the plot of like what his evil scheme is?
Well, I know his ultimate goal is to be put on a pedestal, and yet now he's going to put Gotham on a slab. That's about all I've managed to piece together.
To be honest, that sums it up quite well, because he was running for the mayor, and that he got outed as a bit of a scumbag who's been screwing the city over all along. So it also turns out in the background he's been researching all of Gotham's firstborn children, and he's going to kidnap them and murder them in toxic waste.
Wow, that's an elaborate scheme. What that cage that he has Chris Walken in? Like, what is that cage normally used for? Did he have it built specifically to house?
That's an excellent
reclusive
question.
Billionaires, or is this like a circus thing or a?
I think we had almost exactly the same question a few episodes ago. Like, what?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's great that you have the same idea as us, because what would that be for in any context? Because I can't really see the Penguin manufacturing that.
No. I guess we think we landed on, because this is supposed to be within the old zoo, and this was the display for Arctic World. So we're thinking maybe like seals were kept in there, or
One seal?
one seal.
Seal,
know
the singer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where he performed nightly.
It's crazy.
In his Arctic World residency. It was-
That's how they got him in for the next movie. They got used to him in this one, and were like, oh yeah, get him to do the song next time.
Yeah. That's how he actually, Seal's got all the scarring on his face. He actually got pecked by loads of penguins while he was in the cage. That's
Little
how that
known
happened.
fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's from, though, that's considered it's an honor, though.
Oh yeah, the highest of honors.
It's hard to find penguins.
But I do like though the fact that the penguin himself is just sitting eating like little fish, like popcorn out of like a chum bucket of some sort. But it got me thinking, like, oh yeah, this the penguin eating and diets and Batman, and then I came across a thing which I thought was quite interesting from the Batman Files, a book from 2016, which asked the question, which dared to ask the question, what does Batman eat?
Well, we know it's vichyssoise.
I thought it was small insects he mostly ate.
Oh, why isn't that actually a character trait? That would be fantastic.
Because we know he sleeps upside down, so...
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen him sleep upside down. He does try and live like a bat. He's quite nocturnal.
That could be the one thing you could tempt Tim Burton back into doing Batman with, is like, I know you think you've done everything, Tim, but what if you made it that he ate insects?
Sold. That's how you could sell
Uncanny.
it to him. You could just go into a room with Tim Burton, write on the blackboard, Batman eats insects, and just leave. It's a bit like that old story about how Aliens was greenlit. Well, I mean, it's probably not true, let's be honest. But apparently, James Cameron went in to the studio executives, wrote Alien on the board, added an S, and just walked out. And they greenlit the film.
Wow.
Was it
Good to be the king.
That was the way that Tim Burton greenlit Batman Returns. He just came in and wrote Batman, and just wrote Returns, and then Nathan walked away.
Well, I'd be sold.
But I do have, from the Batman Files, Batman's meal plan for an average day.
Oh my God.
And it's quite interesting. For breakfast, apparently he has 6 poached eggs laid over artichoke bottoms with a sage pesto sauce.
Now, that sounds lovely, but 6?
Yeah, I mean he's got to bulk up, this guy, though. So.
True.
He's got thinly sliced baked ham, mixed organic fresh fruit bowl, a freshly squeezed orange juice, organic grass-fed milk, 4 grams of branched chain amino acid,
What?
and then 2 grams of fish oil. That's just breakfast.
Oh my Lord. I mean, he is supposed to be, keeping fit and healthy, but oh my word.
I have some issues with this. So already I have some issues with this. I pictured Batman just eating like power shakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought maybe something lean, just like a turkey breast.
Yeah. But also, wouldn't breakfast, since he works at night, wouldn't breakfast be his dinner?
I guess so, yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be his nightcap meal, his midnight snack at 8 a.m.?
Unless he just
Anyway.
never sleeps.
Like a bat.
Oh, yeah. That's why he needs all this food. He needs the fuel. He needs the energy. Otherwise, he's just going to completely collapse.
So having had this enormous breakfast, he moves on to lunch.
Yeah, lunch is whatever time of day it is. So this is lunch at about like 7 p.m., I guess. It has local salmon with a ginger glaze.
Local? Have you seen Gotham?
Yeah, so probably like mutated salmon.
It's the villain for the next movie.
It's just like burrowing its way inside Batman. Just like trying to come back up through his throat and stuff.
Oh my God.
But then he has an organic asparagus with lemon garlic dusting, Asian yam soup with diced onions.
Oh,
and
well,
then
we know from Batman Ninja,
yeah.
Alfred has an affinity for Japanese dishes.
Yeah, maybe
Do you
that's
think
where.
Alfred's cooking all this stuff?
Oh, it's gotta be. Alfred.
We've discovered throughout this film, he makes Alfred do everything. And it's really cruel. I mean, he's an old man, and he's making him go up a ladder and hang all the Christmas decorations on his own while he sits and watches the TV.
That does seem weird. At least Alfred should have like an assistant or something.
Yeah, he's got to clean
It's
this whole
like,
damn mansion himself. He's got no one. That's why they need Robin in the next one.
It should be like Downtown Abbey, where they should have like 100 servants and stuff roaming around.
Yeah, what the hell? This makes no sense. God, screw you, Bruce Wayne.
I don't think this movie's very realistic.
Yeah, we've discovered this, unfortunately. We don't like it anymore.
Welcome to the world of minutes.
But the top off his lunch, he has another 2 grams of fish oil. But then moves on to dinner. Dinner's quite impressive, actually. He has a grass-fed local sirloin steak. It's a steak every day, though. That's like, I don't know, that's good for you. But
no, that'd be terrible for your, would it be your cholesterol? Would probably take a hit.
I guess he is also working out like a beast. So I don't know if that helps in any way. But
well, again, he needs the turkey breast. I'm telling you, that's what you need.
Yeah. I think like a big steak's like a once a year kind of thing. I think really, but
yeah, but we live in the UK now, where steaks cost about £500,000.
Yeah, that's true. But it has also a bed of organic spinach and piquillo peppers, with an oven baked golden herb potato. So this is very heavy. This dinner.
He's not keeping it light. He's not going to be moving fast after this.
Yeah. And then, of course, that's finished off with 2 grams of fish oil, which is
What's with him and the fish oil?
I don't know, maybe fish oil is like Popeye spinach or something. Like,
do you need that much fish oil though? Like most people might have like a cod liver oil capsule in the morning. That's it.
That was my dad. That was but my entire childhood and presumably predating it for about 30 years. Every morning, he'd have a big spoonful of cod liver oil, and I tried it when I was a kid, and I was like, "This is disgusting. Why would you do this?"
That's why people have the capsules.
But he's no, he just took it out of the bottle, and then but at some point he just went, "You know what? No, I'm not doing it anymore."
I bet the penguin loves fish oil.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
You'd think.
I reckon he drinks it out of like a sports bottle, like most people would have water.
Yeah,
or like an IV drip.
Oh, that was
fish oil.
That's another thing Tim Burton would come back for. It's like, you can have the penguin back again. He didn't die. He's hooked up to a drip of fish oil coursing through his veins. And it's seeping out of his skin.
Also, does Alfred just make this meal for Bruce Wayne, or does Alfred also? Because it also seems like an elaborate dish to make for one person.
Oh, I imagine Alfred has his own. I can't imagine he's having that every day, too. Like, that old guy, like, I don't think his heart could take it.
No, well, yeah, because hang on. In the last movie, when Alfred made a meal for Bruce and Vicky, and they end up going to Alfred's quarters because it's more homey. It's nicer than the big table. Wasn't Alfred eating a completely different dish to them?
I can't remember actually.
Wasn't he having like something fish and chips or something like that?
Fish oil and chips.
Fish oil.
Fish oil.
just drizzle it all over the chips.
Or just sits with like a little bowl of it and just dips each chip in. No, I have to go back actually to like minutes 27 or whatever that was of the first
like
movie.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I remember.
I bet Alfred just eats whatever Batman doesn't eat the previous. He eats Batman's leftovers from the previous day.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So that way he only has to make one meal, and then he blah blah blah.
Well, I should hope he's only making the one, to be honest, because this man's work schedule is ridiculous. I really feel for Alfred. He's the hero of this movie.
I mean, like we've covered it before, but like Alfred's only like 35 in this movie. Like he's just that stressed working for Batman. It just renders him like with these huge arched eyebrows and the demeanor of a grumpy 85-year-old.
Oh, I feel for him.
So each Alfred only lasts about 3 years, and then he gets worn out, and then they replaces him with a new Alfred.
Using Bruce Wayne's fantastic money and technology, he just clones Alfred.
Yeah, that's actually that'd be a good in for like if you want to get Danny DeVito back as the Penguin. It's just like, that's what Wayne Enterprises makes his money doing, is cloning technology. And Bruce himself discovered it by cloning Alfred.
As a person who does Star Wars Minute, I advise them to stay away from clones if at all possible.
Oh, God. Oh, my. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that.
Wasn't it like Batman Beyond or something? They found out at the end that like Terry McGinnis, like the new Batman, was a Bruce Wayne clone. Like he was.
No, really?
No.
I think that was like at the end, but like. They did that thing where, like, there's no relation to him, and all of a sudden, they just decided, yeah, he's got to be somehow tied to Bruce Wayne. It's like, why? Why can't he just be some guy?
Am I going to sound like a hypocrite when I say, you know, I mean, keep in mind this is my favorite Batman movie, but when I say that I like my Batman to be more realistic than that.
I mean, that's what
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it could be retconned in the next movie, but like that was one of the things I loved in The Last Jedi, where they're just like, you know what, Rey, just somebody. She's just some person. She doesn't need to be a big deal. But then apparently a lot of people found that like a total outrage. So but I do remember when it was revealed in the cinema, like the guy next to me like properly guffawed laughing at it because it was so built up, and then they just went, you know what? No, she's nobody.
You know, we won't press you into saying too much on that, Alex, because obviously you've got that to come. But I'm the same as you, Niall. I thought it was fantastic. Isn't that the whole theme of that movie? That's the whole point. It's like, well, the hero can be anyone. That's what that whole bit with the kids at the end is about.
Yeah.
But you know.
But,
I'm contractually forbidden from talking about The Last Jedi, I'm afraid.
Yeah, come back, tune in 2020, 2021.
21, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that's right, 21.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, 20. It would be 20 because this fall we would start Rogue One, and then that means we would start Last Jedi in 20.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
You guys, though, because of the them sort of putting the kibosh on a lot of projects to kind of slow things down, are you getting like the sort of slow forehead trickle of like, oh, what if we get to like a year where there's just no Star Wars movie, and you're like, what are we gonna do? Like, wait until it comes out in DVD and then do it, or will you just shut down, wait a couple of years, and then start up again?
I think we can't wait till there's a year with no Star Wars movie.
So the sonar here shows us there are more penguins under the water here too, waiting for Batman to come roaring by in his weird bat ski boat thingamabob. I know it has a proper name, but I'm not using it.
Yeah, well, that was it, the bat ski boat.
Well, yeah, there you go. It's but it's a trap. That is not a deliberate reference, actually. I apologize. I should have made a reference.
Speaking of fish.
Oh my God. I've missed two things I could have done. But the interceptor penguins, I'm going to call them, pop out of the water and fire their rockets at Batman, which is possibly the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Ever?
Ever. It's fantastic.
Wow.
It's a bit like, I don't know if it was true, but there were always rumors in the Cold War that they were training dolphins to use like special sonar things to detect submarines for the Navy. It just reminds me of that.
I'm just imagining, though, like you going on holiday and going to see like the Aurora Borealis or something, and like standing with Lol and like her with tears in her eyes, and like, it's so beautiful, John. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you're just like, it's no those penguins shooting the rockets at Batman and the sewer at Batman Returns.
And I would be correct, arguably.
Like she's watching that, and you've just got to like the minute loaded up on your phone. Just like,
to be honest, you can get away with saying it as long as you say arguably. Nobody can question you, really.
That's true. It's pretty impressive sonar he's got, though. The fact that, like, he didn't know these things were coming, yet he's actually got, like, 2 little animated penguins.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Sonar doesn't tell you the shape of the object.
It'd just be, like, a beeping dot or something.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be... But he has that for everything. Like, later on, he has, like, a little outline of the duck boat and stuff. It's like, that's amazing technology.
And it quacks instead of beeps. That's veering into 60s Batman territory, I think.
I think when you have penguins shooting rockets from their back, I think you're firmly in 60s Batman. I apologize. I know it's the coolest thing you've ever seen, but it's also very corny.
It is. It's I don't know how this movie gets away with it. If Joel Schumacher did that in one of the next two, people would just criticize him constantly. Yeah.
No, to be fair though, I've been in enough internet comment sections to know that there's a large contingent of Batman fans who hate this movie, and that kind of thing is why they hate it. So,
well, I hate them. No, I don't really hate you. I respect your opinion, but you're wrong.
Arguably, you're wrong.
Arguably,
exactly. But I do also love, though, because, Batman does it, like, just quickly moves and goes, and that kind of, what do you call that, like a half pipe kind of thing?
Yes, but no, that wouldn't be a half pipe. Half pipe is half.
Yeah, but what do you call that then if you do so you can't really do it in, actually,
I'm just going to call it a barrel roll or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like doing it as if he's playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something.
Yeah. Predating
Why
it,
is he flying a plane in the sewer?
I don't know. I haven't quite. I think a lot of it might be to, like, they would have just done a normal boat, but then they realized they'd have to do this stunt. And then just like, put out little things on the side so it looks a bit less silly when he's going around. Like, it looks a little more believable that he could make it all the way around.
They didn't have to do this stunt. They could have done something else. It's a bit like people who defend bad CGI with, well, how else would they do this scene? It's like, well, do a different scene.
Well, John, I don't know if you know, but the way Tim Burton pitched Batman Returns is that he walked into a Warner Brothers boardroom and he wrote on a blackboard, 2 penguins come out of the water and shoot rockets at Batman while he's in a bat ski boat, and he does like a grinder half pipe thing and then lands on the other side, and then he just walked out of the room.
And the executives were like, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen or heard."
Arguably.
And one of them was still in like all his Arctic gear because he'd been out seeing the Aurora Borealis, and he's like, "Oh my god, that was even better!"
It just deletes all of his photos he took of that. Don't need them anymore.
But I do also love though Batman's reaction because, like, he is cucumber boy and is cool as a, but that was a thing where like he's kind of coming to terms with the fact like 2 penguins just jumped out of the water, shot rockets at me, and almost killed me.
Yeah,
and he kind of has a look back of like, what? I've got a weird life. Like that was pretty messed up.
That actually happened.
Penguins and bats are natural enemies.
Oh, as we all know, they have legendary battles in the wild. Have you not seen the
they're
David Attenborough shows about this?
They're both the freaks of their genre. Penguins are birds that can't fly, and bats are mammals that can fly.
Oh,
so it's natural that they'd be antagonists.
Oh my god, we have not picked up on that. That's the new greatest thing that's ever happened.
Oh wow, that's coming Fast and Furious.
Oh, no. I'll defend those movies. But moving on.
No, I believe there's a movies by a minute of them in the works. So.
I've heard there might be 2 competing ones.
Possibly. You're saying there'd be two Fast, two Furiouses?
Oh, that would be amazing.
And then they should do a crossover for like the 5th one.
Oh no, they should do like one where like one show covers the first movie, the second one just covers the second movie, and then the third ones they just keep like swapping hosts and stuff.
No, but then they all team up.
Exactly.
How many are there? 7? Are there 7 of those? Yeah.
Right, I'm a fan and I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
is there 8?
I think there's 7, and then there'll be this Hobbs and Shaw with Jason Statham. And
I thought the new one was 8. What's that last one we went to go and see now? When I snuck all the Corona bottles into the.
Well, I think that was 7. That was the last one with Paul Walker. I think that's 7. But then I think it's one of those things though, because they just do them like, we've released one, we've greenlit another one. So you, in your mind, you don't even have the time for it to settle. For like how many movies are there? No, there's another one in the works anyway. So
they're all the same, and I don't mean that as a diss.
But by the time like they're Fast and Furious 11's out, they'll have greenlit 12. So you're like, I guess there's 12 movies because they've already got another one in the works. And they'll be like, oh, we're planning to make another one after that. So in your mind, you could be like, I guess there's going to be 13 of them. I can't really tell anymore.
And then when they join the Marvel universe, which is bound to happen, there'll be endless films.
That's the only way forward.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they did, like, if there's, let's just say for the sake of argument that there's 7 Too Fast, Too Furious is right now. If, like, Monday they did Fast and Furious 1, Tuesday was... Like, Monday was minute 1 of Fast and Furious. Tuesday was minute 1 of Fast and Furious 2. Whoa. Wednesday was, you know what I mean? And then you'd have different hosts each day covering a different movie.
Oh, my God, that would be amazing. Well,
let's do it.
If those guys are listening, please do that.
I kind of want it to happen, though, so the guys doing the second one can call it Tues-Fast, Tues-Furious.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah. Now you're getting it.
No. Maybe you should come in with a competing show yourself, Alex. It's like, that's it. I'm taking over this damn thing.
I've never seen any of these movies, but the format is too tempting to resist.
That would be interesting. Yeah, well, a movie the host has never seen, and they are watching it minute by minute.
Wasn't that?
I don't recommend that.
No, I don't want to do it.
Wasn't that the fried green tomatoes guys? Wasn't that not their pitch where like none of them had seen the movie and they were just watching it bit by bit and stuff?
Oh wait, none of them. I think one of the hosts should have seen it and one shouldn't have. That'd be fun.
Oh. I can't, I doubt any of them are listening, but I never listened to that show. But I thought that was what the pitch was. Like, they were complete, strangers to the film and stuff.
I think you're forgiven for not listening to all of the shows now. There's about 7,000 now. At one point, there was about 8, and it was fine. But, yes, we need to get back to this minute.
Yes.
We are the masters of tangents.
But the rest of the minute is kind of like, yep, I hope you like penguins, because you're going to see a lot of penguins walking around now.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Elfman's score getting pretty cacophonous, with this things getting zanier and zanier. And more zanier and zanier, but more serious as well. It's kind of a weird one. But
yeah, that's an odd contrast, isn't it? Because it's very serious and dark what's actually happening, but it's completely bonkers at the same time. So how do you feel about it? Like, is it amusing and fun? Is it creepy and horrible? All these children, well, not just children are going to be killed now. He's going to kill everyone.
Mm.
Well, presumably, because the poodle lady here is on the what do they call it in America? We call it a tannoy. What did we discover, Niall? Is it like a public address system? She's on the speaker there saying an estimated 100,000 people are about to be killed solely by the penguin rockets.
That seems to be the pitch, and I do have many problems with it because we'll kind of cover it more, I guess, in the minutes after this when we see the layout of the penguins and how they're planning to bomb everything.
Yes,
but I don't think a bunch like 60 penguins standing in the one spot, firing rockets all in the one direction, is going to kill an empty square where there's nobody around.
Yep, 100,000. Even Max here thinks this is crazy. Like, he may be a crook and a murderer, but he doesn't want to kill that many people.
Do we know what the population of Gotham is at this point? Like, what percentage of the population that is?
It's 100,001 person. So.
Wow, my God.
Please tell me that's true.
Yeah, Max Shrek's the one. So he's the 1%.
So Penguin's going to kill himself as well. With a swordfish to the gut.
Well, actually, I was going to say because he wouldn't be in the, they call it the census, but I guess he was because he was looking for his name and all the friggin' birth certificates and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. I do like, though, it's just a gentle foreshadowing because we get a shot of the TV. I have to say that the Penguin's method of watching this is atrocious as well.
Yes.
Because he's got little tiny TV screens way up in the wall about a mile away from him. And he has to sit and watch. I'm guessing that's why the poodle lady's announcing everything, because he can't see what the hell's going on.
He hasn't got his monocle.
I would have loved if he had little opera glasses and he was sitting watching it that way. And he's still sitting wearing the top hat and he had like the old tux and stuff on. He's like dressing up for a night at the penguin bombing or whatever you call it.
Well, he is kind of relaxing. You know, he's eating all those weird fish snacks.
Yeah. You got any of you guys? I know, John, you're a vegetarian now. You weren't even before you were a vegetarian. You weren't even really into fish either, were you?
No.
I guess you wouldn't be. Like, Alex, would you be into like anchovies enough that you just sit eating them like popcorn?
Not anchovies, but I could definitely eat like salmon sashimi that way. I love salmon sashimi.
I did like, when I ate meat and stuff, I did like tuna, like sashimi. Mm-hmm. I could go with that, with the tuna. That's fine.
There you go. Well, I don't know about eating a whole bucket of it like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be that good for you either, because the Japanese like to use like a fatty tuna, don't they?
That's the thing, though. I guarantee you, and it might even still happen, but like, if you had got the penguin in like the Chris Nolan movies, I bet you all they would have done was like they might have had one scene of him eating like sushi or something, and that would have been like, get it? Because it's raw fish, right? And he's like, that's how he's the penguin, but he's like a realistic version of the penguin.
Which nobody wants. I don't want a realistic penguin, goddammit.
But,
I really like these statues here in the square, because it looks to me like they are almost, they can't bring themselves to watch what's about to happen to the citizens of its city.
Yeah.
They're shying away, like, oh no, because they can't do anything. They're just statues.
Well, it would be something of like, because those are the ones we saw, remember, like earlier in the movie, and you saw there was one that looked like it was peeing in a corner.
Yeah.
And there's ones that had like the arms outstretched in victory and stuff. But when it was something that Tim Burton had a bunch of them made, and then every scene he just changed the statues around, and he's just waiting to see if anybody noticed.
That's a bit Twin Peaks. It's like in the Black Lodge, just because the statue changes, doesn't it?
He's just kind of always hoping, like, well, just, maybe someday someone will cover this movie in an in-depth analysis, and they'll finally pick up on that. And now we're here going, like, wouldn't it be something if he did do that? And he's listening at home going, I did do that, you assholes!
And one other thing I particularly like here is pretty much every version of the script, most of them, call these penguins the Vanguard Penguin Division, which is utterly fantastic and quite Soviet. I like that.
Yeah. I always associate that name now because of the cult that Alison Mack from Smallville is wrapped up in. She's getting like the nefarious sex cult. I know the leader of that. He made everyone in it call him Vanguard.
Oh yeah,
it's like that. And you see him; he's like the dweebiest looking guy in the universe. But the fact that he gave himself this like grand, cool name and stuff. But yeah, we're kind of coming up to the, we got Max Schreck sort of this one close up of him where he's looking. It's kind of hard to tell with Max because we don't know if he's got any remorse for what's happening. If he's got like I kind of stoked these flames. This is all my fault. Or whether he's just looking that way because he's like anxiously trying to see if he can get the monkey's attention to get the keys. It's a hard read.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you can just sway a monkey like that. Unless you offer it dates, as we learned from Indiana Jones.
Oh, of course. Maybe he just carries around dates in his pocket. He's like, I was at that party earlier. Thank God I filled up in dates.
Yeah, that was the style at the time.
Wash down with some fish oil.
Oh, yeah. You get your dates, you soak them in fish oil for 3 or 4 weeks. They ferment. Lovely.
I don't know what you think about Chris Walken in general, Alex, but like I'm sure you guys have covered like way back when in Star Wars Minute the fact that he allegedly was supposed to be up for Han Solo at one point.
Yeah, I think he was one of the actors who auditioned for it.
That wouldn't have worked.
But seeing like Chris Walken now, where you see when Chris Walken walks into a movie now, he's just there as kind of like, it's me, it's Chris, and he's not even really trying anymore, and he's always got the same pompadour hairdo. And you're always well aware that it's Chris Walken. So, like, imagine, like, The Force Awakens with him showing up with that hairdo and just, like, coming in like, yeah, Chewie, we're home. And, like, I cannot imagine that working at all.
I feel like it would have been a really different character if it had been Christopher Walken.
It would have to be. You can't imagine him doing the Han Solo that we know and love. There's no way that would work.
Yeah.
I do want to see that now. Just like if someone could convince him to just film Force Awakens scenes with him going like, bad. The thing is, if he played like, he couldn't have got Adam Driver to play Kylo Ren. Then they would have to get would they get Chip Shrek in to play Kylo Ren? Would that been and would he then have to do? Would Kylo Ren have to do the Chris Walken voice to indicate that he's been raised by Chris Walken in much the way that Chip Shrek has done in this movie?
Of course.
So then you'd have Kylo Ren will be like, bring me the girl, and just like doing a really weird voice, and people like, you got the helmet on. I can't understand you at the best of times, dude. Like,
that was Bane.
That was Bane. I love that about Tom Hardy. He just decides, like, every movie I'm in, I'm going to wear something weird over my face and do a stupid voice. He even does it in Dunkirk. You can barely hear him. He's like, I'm maneuvering now.
Well, John, the way that Tom Hardy pitched his Bane character was that he walked into Chris Nolan's office and he wrote up on a blackboard, Bane sounds like Kylo Ren if he was played by a guy doing a Chris Walken impression. And just walked out the door.
Perfect. Despite the fact that movie came first.
Yeah, Chris Nolan was like, I don't know who Kylo Ren is, but I love this idea.
It sounds great.
But yeah, as we said, like we just got a load of penguins pouring on into the Gotham Square here.
Dun dun dun.
When I saw the penguins, I was like, so someone must like. you don't really generally see penguins in non-documentary films when they're not marching. So like someone, and I looked it up on the internet, and I guess there's a curator for these penguins. So I guess if you're like, hey, we need 50 penguins for this movie, some guy has a warehouse filled with penguins that he rents out for movies and stuff, which is just weird.
Yeah, you can't imagine there's much call for it. So you would have to ask a high fee, surely.
Yeah, because you can't be doing more than like one or two at most a year, you know?
If that.
How many movies are there with penguins in them? Or how many things, you know?
I mean,
I guess if someone's
my...
having like a special event and they want to, like a bar mitzvah or something, they want to have a penguin theme maybe.
Oh my God. That seems like ripe for abuse, though. Because you just get jerky little kids like hitting the penguins. Ugh.
Yeah.
These penguins were treated very well, apparently. Did I talk about this already, Niall? I did, actually. Doesn't matter. It's staying in. The was it the American Humane Association for Animals or something? They reviewed it, and they came out favorable in the movie. It wasn't perfect, but they took a lot of steps to make sure the penguins were happy and comfortable at the expense of the cast and crew, actually. The cast and crew were freezing cold because they had to keep the penguins so cold.
I just really like the idea, though, like this one penguin wrangler guy in Hollywood, and everyone, like his whole family, just keeps telling him, like, you gotta give up this penguin business. No one's ever gonna come calling for that many penguins at the one time. It's like, just you wait and see this one day. And then he just, like, read in the trades one morning, like, the penguin to be a villain in the next Batman movie. He's like, this is it. It's coming.
My time is now.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was maybe one of the producers who just wanted like an excuse to finally use his penguins.
I've got a warehouse full of
penguin
penguins.
Movie made. Yeah,
I've been sitting on these penguins for 20 years. I can finally use them.
Yeah,
it's just like his wife's just absolutely tortured because she's just like having to keep the house at sub-zero temperatures and stuff.
No, and he's adorable. You think he has a wife? Like someone would marry a guy with a house full of penguins.
It might be an appealing thing. I don't know. Chicks dig penguins.
Have you guys been to a penguin house, like in the zoo? Have you been to a penguin house?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
But they do tend to smell like penguin poop.
Yeah, I think by the time I get to that, I've usually seen so many other animals that kind of stink at that point. I'm just over it.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Like, you always get it in your head. It'll be, it's great. I'll, like, go see the giraffes and the rhinos and things at the zoo. And, they stink. They smell pretty bad.
Yeah, I think the only way you can safely visit a zoo is to have that stuff, like, in Silence of the Lambs, when they're examining the corpse and they have to put, like, the little gel under their nose, because, it's obviously so decomposed that it obviously reeks. I guess that should be a thing you think they should do at zoos. Just hand that out. Be like, you have to stick your finger in, rub it under your nose. You're safe until you get out the other side. This is a business idea. I should be pitching this to zoos. Go in, like, hey, no non-stink zoo. There you go.
These penguins are great, though, because some shots in this movie so far haven't been real penguins. As we've said, they've been animatronics, and have we had the stop-motion penguins yet? I know in a few minutes we do see a few stop-motion penguins, but these are the real penguins here.
Yeah,
these are trained, and the equipment they're wearing, again, is apparently okay. It's not harming them. It's not too heavy or anything. They don't look like they're struggling. It's not like weighing them down.
To be fair, you don't want to piss off an armed penguin as well. So.
Penguin army.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the end of the action for this minute. Do either of you guys have anything else about the penguins or?
Danny DeVito, renting out penguins. Nope, that's it. Got all my notes covered.
Yeah, I'm all done. My only other thing was when the penguins shoot the missiles at Batman. I forgot to say, I love the way they watch on as Batman continues. They look kind of sad, like they feel like failures. They're watching Batman zoom off, like, we messed up.
We had one job.
Yeah, we had one job, and the boss is gonna kill us.
Yeah, they're setting up for the sequel. Like those two penguins were left in the sewer, like knowing that they failed, and like the actual original ending, like we had like the bat signal going up, and then Catwoman's head appears. It originally was going to be those two penguins popping up.
Yes.
Post credits sting.
Well, we will leave these Ewok-esque creatures That's all I can think that they are. Some people love them, some people hate them. And we will depart into the dark, dark night. Alex, I'm sure all the listeners know where you're from and where they can find you. But just in case, would you like to plug all of your wonderful work?
Sure, I am the co-host of the Star Wars Minute, in which me and Pete the Retailer and I do what you guys are doing, but about the Star Wars movies. We are currently about 2/3 of the way through Force Awakens. I don't know when this is going to air exactly, but probably will still be around 2/3.
This
So
will
you
be
can check that out.
10 weeks time, so it
Oh,
might
boy.
well be over, actually.
Yeah, well, in that case, we completed The Force Awakens. It was our best season ever. And you can check it out by going to StarWarsMinute.com or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.
Well, do check it out, everyone. If you haven't, I can't imagine you haven't. How else have you found us? It's a pretty weird thing to think about. But if you haven't, then check that out and chat to us all over the internet. We're on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. And we're on Twitter at Bat Minute, believe it or not. Instagram, yeah, you find us on iTunes. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. TeePublic, buy a mug. We haven't sold a mug. We sold T-shirts. We sold Baby Grow. No mug. Go and buy one of those so I can say I'm on a mug. I already have a T-shirt with my own cartoon face on it, which is fantastic. So thank you, Niall, for the art.
Yeah.
And join us again. Niall, is this a Monday episode?
This is a Monday episode, yeah.
Join us again on Wednesday. We will be back with more Bat Minute Returns.
All right, here we go. It's the final countdown. The sordid supreme Sphinicidae watches things go his way while swearing Gotham cities will rule the day. Sorry, I said rule the day. Let me start again. Here we go.
Okay.
Take two. You can include this as bonus extras of my mistakes. It's the final countdown. The sordid supreme Sphinicidae watches things go his way while swearing Gotham citizens will rue the day. Will it be bombs ahoy for our bewildered Batboy? Can our vigilant cavalier defile this bile's... Oh my gosh, this is impossible to say.
You can back up a little bit and just do the last line if you want.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Can our vigilant cavalier defile this bile-spewing vile villain's projectiles? Find out Wednesday. Same Bat Pod, same Bat Minute.
Hey!
All right.